That's My Word Podcast, an Umbrella Entertainment Productions, with your hosts, Uncle Will and Trail. Join us while we deal with a variety of life topics. So, without further ado, that's my word. Hey, what's up everyone? It's I, Uncle Will, and we're back. The podcast has finally come back. That's My Word Podcast. Now, let me get these mics off. For me, my level sounds pretty good. Should be no tweaking going on. Anyway, so as you see, there's a change to the show. Charles, who was one of my 3 hosts, he's no longer with us. He is now happily married and living down in Atlanta, Georgia. Salute to the A. Latrell, she's not here today, but she will be back on some future episodes, so I'm looking forward to seeing you back here sitting next to me, Trail, getting on my cotton picking nerves. That probably is a word I shouldn't use, cotton picking, but getting on my nerves, okay? So, me, Uncle Will, let's get with the topic of the day. The topic is family secrets. Now, we've all heard of different horror stories in families, and we all know and understand the meaning of family secrets, right? So, now, I'm originally from the south side of Chicago. South side all day, right? But I grew up going back and forth from Chicago to Detroit. Now, my mom's finally moved us full time from the Chi to Detroit back in '86. I was about 16 then. So it kind of hurted me to leave my family, even though I was coming to my other family. But you got my cousin John, it was my cousin Charles, God rest your soul too. Then my cousin Joanne, all those people that I had to leave, and it just really bothered me, right? But we relocated, started anew, get down here, grow up, have my own family, successful, doing what I got to do. But in reflection, I'm 52 now. I started thinking about all the family drama that has been going on over the years and finding out a lot of different family secrets. I'm only going to deal with what I know. When I say what I know, in regards to my culture. And in my culture, it's a lot of family secrets that involves incest as well as pedophilia. So I'm going to deal with what I know in regards to my maternal side, not here in the D on my father's side, but on my mother's side of the family. We have in our family one individual that has been such a freaking predator over the years, and I'm talking about over 40 something years. He has been a predator, molesting different kids in this family, okay? And the thing is that what I'm bothered about is, and I'm guessing this is going on a lot in a lot of different families, is that no one has done anything about it. He has been able to go years and years touching and molesting little kids in this family. And when I have went to visit, whether it's a family funeral or just go down there to visit, which I don't get a chance to visit a lot, and a lot of that is part of the reason why, but people still be in his face laughing and joking with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them don't know what the hell is going on. And you do know what's going on. He's a pedophile. But he's been allowed to mingle with family and their children. And that's what I want to talk about. Why? Why do we just live life like nothing has happened? But some of us know what has occurred in the family. When you think about the mental anguish, the abuse that was committed on a kid and what they have to deal with, why don't you take that into account when you're dealing with this person? So I found out recently that his mother was made aware of the things that he has done. Now, God rest her soul, is my auntie. She's gone now. She's the oldest sister of my mother. And I used to love going over to her house, right, when I was a kid. Because growing up, South Side, my mom's, um, she didn't really have much. We was on welfare. My father, he was in and out of life, and he was practically more out than in. And so we didn't have food. So I used to go over to my auntie's house and spend the night from time to time. Okay, and I used to enjoy spending time with her because she made me laugh. It's like I knew she loved me and I loved her. So I just want to say God rest her soul. But what I want to touch upon is that even though in my mind, with my memories of her, she was a good aunt, and I'm not going to take that away from her. But the question I have to ask is, why didn't she do anything? Why was nothing done to this individual who happens to be my first cousin? He's the oldest boy out of all of my grandmama's kids. Okay, now let's rewind back, like a little history of things. Okay, so my mom's them, they used to go when she was a kid. She had to quit school because they were dirt poor growing up down south or whatever, right? And so they had to quit school because they used to have to bounce around from harvest to harvest, picking whether it was apples, oranges, cucumbers, and I believe even some cotton from time to time. But that's how they survived. And so when you had kids, you needed your kids to help bring in money to help feed the family. So that's what a lot of them did. Okay, so during that time, you also had young girls like my mom's, 14, 13 years of age, having relationships with grown ass men. And that was a common thing. Okay? So, not to throw my father under the bus, but when my mom's 14, my dad was 21. You know what I'm saying? She had me at 15. And so, my mom's dad would allow my dad to court my mom's, let him use the car and everything, you know what I'm saying? Because it was accepted, more tolerable back then for grown men to date young girls, right? So you add that with some of the stuff that was going on in that house, where my grandfather was messing around with some of my aunties and everything. It was a tolerable, tolerable atmosphere back then. So it was widely accepted. But you take that era of 60s, early 60s, late 50s, and probably even before then, because like I said, you talking about what was accepted then, so you know you go back to the 40s and 30s, all that. It was, okay. Now, you fast forward to the 70s, okay? Some of those same characteristics, some of those same way of living was passed on to the kids. But while it was being passed on to some of the kids, I'm going to say one of them in particular, no one was monitoring or recognizing the signs, okay? Now, this topic was brought up because I happened to be one of his victims. You know, as a grown man, it's always hard to talk, especially if you've been a victim of incest or molestation. It's kind of like a hard topic to talk about. But I had to learn over the years that, you know, I wasn't at fault. I didn't do anything wrong. Because my first time being assaulted, I was around 7 years of age with him. Okay? And you fast forward a few years later after that, I was assaulted by him a couple of times then too. Now, I didn't know to feel ashamed at that time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going on. So I didn't know how to feel about what was happening to me or what had happened to me, right? So I didn't tell my moms until I was probably about 18, 19. We were at home and something had happened. I can't say exactly, but something had happened that made me come out and say it to her, to tell her. Because in my mid-teens, I was going through something in my mind like, is something wrong with me? Because I was thinking about the abuse. It just really started hitting me. And I started questioning my sexuality. I mean, I knew I loved girls. And I never had no thought or no idea about being with a man. But I knew that a man, oh, I was touched and I was molested. And so it made me think like, well, you never told your mom, you never told your dad, you never did. Was it my fault? So the older I got, I tried to find ways to come to grips with what had happened to me. And so I had to start by telling the one person that I knew I loved and I knew that I trusted and I knew that would always be there for me. And that was my mom. And let me tell you, man, it was such a big relief and a big release because I got that burden off my chest. And I have, what, 5 siblings under me. And I always wondered, like, what would they think of me? Would they think of me any different? You know? And so, when I told my moms, she contacted family members in Chicago and told them what had happened. And so, come to find out, now this was, because I'm 52 now, this was probably about 30, almost 30 something years ago when I had disclosed it to my mom. Come to find out, then he was accused of doing it to some other kids in the family then too. Fast forward to now, come to find out he was still doing it over that time frame. And that's where the secret comes in, that like, okay, it's been confirmed, it's been stated what this, at the time, young man, he was a kid at the time, he was doing stuff that he was doing to me. And then come to find out he was doing it to other children in the family. It didn't matter whether he was a boy or girl. He was just a straight up predator, right? Then to come to find out, fast forward after all these years, he's still been allowed to do it. And that's the thing, he's been allowed to do it because no one has called the police and said anything. Now I know I haven't, but I didn't do it because I'm thinking like, well, it happened so long ago, I don't know what the statute of limitations are in a situation like that. But I know if something been going on recently and people know about it, what in the hell is going on in this family? Part of what I went through made me a nurturer. That's what it created in me. Now, I've heard how some people have become predators themselves, go out and once a victim, they become the victimizer. That wasn't me, you know. I was already, it's crazy because I was already being not abused in the sense of, you know, sexually, but mentally and physically by being beaten whooped by my mom's ex-boyfriend then. You know what I'm saying? So you compile that with that right there, it's like, okay, I'm not being protected here by this man just beating the shit out of me, abusing me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then you got this dude over here doing what he's doing to me. It's like, okay, I'm a child. I don't know what the hell to do. But what I can say is that I became a nurturer. And so what that means is I had my own kids, even my stepchildren who are my kids. I try to be a protector. Nieces and nephews, younger siblings. If you need something, I got you. I find myself always, when someone call me in the family saying that they need this or they need that, I'm making my business to be there for them. Because I feel like no one was there for me when I was a kid. So even though these are some grown ass people now, my family, I still find myself being there to try to protect them. Now I got god kids. I got second generation nieces and nephews. And my mind is always, when they're with me, it's like, oh, I'm just this nurturer. I'm trying to be there for them. Trying to make sure they know, hey, Uncle love you. You know, if you need to talk, I'm always here for you. I put my needs and my wants most time on the back burner. And a lot of times that irritates my wife because she tells me, you know, you do too much for people. But I think she understands why I'm the way I am, because I had to have had that talk with her, and I told her what had happened to me. I haven't talked to all my children yet. You know, I've been told a couple of them what had happened. I haven't talked to all of them. Not because I'm embarrassed or, you know, I'm fearful of what they may think of me. Because at this point in my life, I don't care what no one think about me. After you view this, if you see me as whatever you see me as that's negative, that's on you, because I'm still going to sleep good, right? But I'm going to eventually get all the kids together and just have that talk with every last one of them. But the purpose of me telling them is because I want you guys to know what I've been through, where I'm at in life, and I want you to get something out of it. Strength, determination. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want them to continue, and that's what I want them to grab from it. Continue from, you know, learning from what I went through, and just take it and just move on with it, you know. Therapy. Come from a generation, and may I add, this is going to be another topic about therapy in our community. I come from an era where whatever happened to you, toughen up, move the hell on. Don't talk about it. Because again, this was my family's motto. Now, I can dig in on my father's side of the family too, because these are mofos on this side too. But for this show right here, I'm dealing with the maternal side. Okay? They knew the shit was going on. They let the shit continue to go on. And now you have some of the kids that have hurt. They'd have been in prison. They'd have done all kind of crazy shit or whatever. But how do you know that that encounter wasn't the cause and effect of why they doing what they doing? And may I add, he molested his own sibling kids, his own nieces and nephews. He's a monster. He's relentless at what he do. Now, I don't know if he's still out, you know, because he's like, what, I'm 52. He at least about to be about at least 60 years old or something by now. You know what I'm saying? But he done molested his own nieces and nephews. I don't know what the hell he done to his own grandkids. I'm not claiming that he done it, because I don't know. But what I'm saying is, cousins, nieces, nephews, I won't put nothing past the brother. I ain't gonna call him a brother, I just say brother because he's a male. I wouldn't put nothing past him. Family secrets have to stop. You have to break a chain somewhere. And the one thing that I like about Gen Z, they're not afraid to confront an issue. They're not afraid to talk about something. They're not afraid to get therapy. Yeah, they tend to think that they've been through a lot of racial struggles sometimes, like they can identify with the Selma March on things or whatever. But when you put all that aside, they don't mind addressing mental health issues. They don't mind addressing issues, period. And I applaud them for that. I wish my generation, we had that. I wish my mom's generation, they had that, because they've been through a hell of a lot more than my generation did. My cousin, his name is Jeff Trawick. That's his name. He's a pedophile. He's a predator. He's a horrible individual that needs to be stopped. If he is continuing this, and if some of you family members out there that has went through it recently, or that knows about this, see this video. Hopefully this gives you the strength or motivates you to say, you know what? You're right, cuz. Enough is enough. Confront him. Stop laughing, breaking bread with this dude. He's messing up and he's ruining people's lives. So, at the end of the day, I just want to say, family secrets such as this did it. It's enough of that. Stop letting kids continue to be victimized. This is the year 2023, going into 2024. This shit needs to stop. If you know of one in your family, or you know of one who has been victimized in your family, give them help. Talk to them. Encourage them to face the abuser, press charges. I'm making it my business to keep his name out there. Jeff Trawick. That's his name in Chicago. I'm making it my business. And for those of you Trawicks who don't agree with me, who want to come on and say anything negative, that's your right. But if you haven't been a victim of him, you don't know what we're going through. Thank you for watching the show. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Continue to look out for future episodes of That's My Word. And again, I just want to say thank you. God bless.